All my life, I've been too white to hang out with the black kids and too black to hang out with the white kids, and mixed kids are just now becoming a fad. So I stuck out, and I wondered, where is my blackness accepted?
Many will remember this lady who wrote and presented this poem, Where Does My Black Fit? Again, Gaza Media caught her during a HealthFair event organized by Minority Hair Institute, where she presented another poem. And we sat down with her, and she stated that she started writing when she was 7.
Can you just tell your name and to our audience and who invited you here at the HealthFair?
Absolutely. So my name's Teresa Galloway. I'm a poet from Charleston, West Virginia. I was invited by LaDonna Walker Dean for the Minority Health and Wellness event that is taking place here in Ritter Park in Huntington, West Virginia.
And you were one of the key person, because in the event like this, they always talk about the guest speaker, keynote speaker,
Yeah.
that you presented your word in the form of a poem. So how do you come about writing poetry? You say you are a poet. How do you come about?
So poetry, I've been writing poetry since I was 7 years old. I started writing poetry because I had some really traumatic events that happened to me as a kid. And when I went to therapy, my therapist suggested that I start writing down those events and how I felt about them to kind of help me process my emotions and learn how to emotionally regulate, I guess. And so I noticed that some of the things that I was saying, the ends of the lines were starting to rhyme. And I thought that was really neat. And so I kept working on it and I kept practicing. And then it got to a point where I lightweight became obsessed with the way that you can deliver a message and somehow make words rhyme and still have such a great meaning behind it. And you can storytell in a way that even songwriters or playwrights do. And so I thought that was pretty cool. And so from 7 years old to now, I've been writing. I've written
So you started writing at a very
7.
Very early age. So my curiosity is, how long will that kind of a poem? How long does it take you to come on with that specific one?
So Donna asked me probably a month ago at this point, and I have had the biggest brain fog and just writer's block. And a lot of times when I'm pressed to write something specific, I do get that. I did not write this poem until 8 o'clock this morning, and I was done with it at 8:15. It took me 15 minutes to think of what I wanted to say, and that's typically how it goes. I think there's more anxiety and much more of a thought process about what I want to say than there is the actual writing of it. Once I get started, I just go until I stop. But the getting started is what takes the most time, I think.
So, okay. Do you think you can put some of this poem, say, into a book, a collection of
Yes,
poems?
I'm actually working on that. So I have been working on a book. My cousin has been helping me for the last couple of years. I want to do an audiobook with that as well as a journal so that other people can write down, when they hear a message out of something that I've written. A lot of times people will say like, oh yeah, I went through something similar. I totally understand that. But they never really tell me the concepts that they've grasped from that. And so I want to give them the opportunity to be able to write down what type of concept they got from the things that I've written and how it's helped their life or how they want to implement it in their lives.
Okay, I wish you luck. And whenever you finish, contact Gaza Media so that we can do a promotion.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I will absolutely let you know. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming all the way from Charleston to Huntington.
Yes, thanks for having me. I love coming to these events. So
okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Yes.
Here is her presentation once more at the Minority HealthFair event in downtown Huntington, West Virginia.
I've never written a piece about minority health before, so y'all get a brand new poem that nobody else has ever heard before. So the name of the poem is called The Barriers. We don't talk enough about the why and how the why will change the what. Instead, we are stuck on a high horse proclaiming that the journey is the same, but the race is different when the race is different. And for someone who can't pronounce your name but can pronounce every prescription, it just hits different. We just sit different in front of doctors that don't look like us and nurses that don't look like us and specialists who believe that our pain is more tolerable for us and treatments aren't consistent or compassionate, and that's not even the half of it. Our prior experiences with healthcare professionals gives us anxiety just stepping into a hospital. Because what happens if I never come out? And is anyone going to be an advocate for us, or are we just going to have to shout? I want black mothers to be safe. I want black babies to live and not be a threat to our community before they learn how to spell community. I want the proper immunity from diseases that never enter the bloodstream but enter our minds and hearts. I want equity and equality. A fair chance from the start. You see, I'm not mad at who holds the jobs. I'm mad at the lack of effort to make it right. I'm mad that minority children say prayers and prepare for war at night. Where's the war? Well, I'm glad you asked. So in order for this to make sense, let's take a trip to the past. Minority women statistically get pregnant at a very young age. Why? Because the lack of attention at home that they need and that they crave is not there. Minority men tend to dismiss their health and take risks. Why? Because their livelihood depends on it. It's not easy to be surrounded by chaos and not be consumed of it yourself. So their dreams and aspirations get put on the shelf. We are the leading race for single-parent households and have been since at least the 70s. So we have one parent to depend on for all the things. And outside of groceries and rent and the light bill, there's a lot that never gets taught. Because whoever he or she is has little time with kids and their experiences come from outside sources. But there aren't many choices. The grocery stores are higher the worse the neighborhood gets, so stealing is a way to get by until you get your check. And the recipes that get passed down are full of cholesterol, diabetes, blood pressure, and kidney disease. And if the hospitals don't treat me, and if the hospitals don't see me, and if the hospitals just leave me, now I need an escape. To not feel the pain, to not shield the shame. I'm tired of being brave. When my shoulders aren't wide enough for the baggage that's been handed to me, I want to leave this space. So drugs and provocative behavior help me cope. I might as well, because half my family on dope. In school, I learned how to balance a checkbook, but never wrote a check in my life. Didn't learn how to balance life, so now I check books to make sure that I'm doing it right. There are still students who qualify for scholarships, being the first generation to ever go to college. It's 2023, and you're telling me that education is still something that we can use as a tool to enhance discrimination in schools? And as much as college costs, we still don't teach cultural competency. We still don't teach how hatred is not fuel to power, but to destruction. We still don't teach that mental health is construction for our inner being to have a chance at a sound mind instead of eruption. What are we paying for? What are we sacrificing for? The barriers that exist because we create them. We don't debate them. They're now innate. But as sure as you hear my voice, I want you to make the choice to eliminate the barriers.
Again, this is Gaza Media, and my name is Ernest Kumba.